Imagine stepping into a scene that feels like a dream or a wildlife documentary, yet it's all real. Picture the vast golden plains of the African savannah, glowing in the early morning light, where park rangers Elias and Lena sit quietly in their camouflaged vehicle. They've spent countless sunrises here, learning every rustle in the grass, every bird call, every whisper of wind. But today, that peaceful routine is laced with an almost unbearable tension. For out in the open grass, a tiny impala, barely weeks old, has wandered too far from its herd, its legs wobbling under exhaustion and fear. Its mother nowhere in sight, the little one's cry shatters the morning calm like a sudden crack in glass, leaving everyone who hears it clutching at their hearts and bracing for what comes next. What unfolds will challenge everything you think you know about the wild, and leave you breathless with wonder. As the sun climbs higher, the impala's blind panic is met by a pair of tawny shapes slipping silently through the grass. Two lionesses, their sleek muscles rippling beneath golden coats, move in perfect harmony. Hunters honed by generations of survival. Each step is calculated, each breath measured. The air seems to hold its breath too as the lionesses close the gap. Their eyes are locked on the frail figure rooted to the spot. For Elias and Lena, watching through binoculars, it feels like witnessing a tragic dance written in nature's oldest language. Predator and prey, life and death intertwined in a single, inevitable moment. Foe. They share a resigned glance, another life claimed by the savannah, until something utterly unexpected cuts through that resignation like a bolt of light. From the dense fringe of trees along the grassland border, another presence stirs. Congo, a magnificent silverback gorilla, has been watching the unfolding drama through intelligent brown eyes, usually reserved for his forest domain. Gorillas rarely venture into the lioness's territory, but Congo's patch of woodland overlaps this part of the savannah, an accidental meeting place of two very different worlds. As the lionesses crouch, ready to pounce, and the impala falters, its tiny legs giving way, an almost electric hush spreads across the plains. It seems the moment is frozen in time, until Congo makes his move. Without a roar or a savage charge, the massive gorilla emerges from the trees with controlled urgency. His strides aren't chaotic, they're deliberate and calm, like a guardian answering a silent call. He positions his immense body squarely between the lionesses and the trembling impala, and then lets out a deep, resonant growl that rumbles through the air like distant thunder. The lionesses, trained to send any creature scattering with a simple growl of their own, freeze in confusion. Ooh, this is no routine encounter. They've never met a protector like this. Congo's authority over his own troop is legendary. Now it extends, inexplicably, to this tiny, vulnerable creature on the plains. Time seems to slow as the lionesses weigh their options. Sense. With low, frustrated snarls, they decide this strange confrontation isn't worth the risk. Their paws sink into the soft earth as they turn and melt back into the tall grass, leaving behind the echo of their retreat. Elias and Lena sit stunned, mouths hanging open, eyes wide with disbelief. And, Lena lowers her binoculars, voice trembling. Did he just... Elias can only nod, every part of him buzzing with awe. In all their years on the savannah, they'd heard of elephants rescuing antelopes, like the legendary tusk, but never a gorilla stepping in against lions. This was uncharted territory in the animal kingdom, a raw display of interspecies compassion that defied every rule etched into their scientific minds. As the dust settles and the echoes of the lioness's departure fade, Congo remains by the impala's side, a colossal guardian standing watch. The baby, still dazed, presses itself flat against the ground, its wide eyes flicking between confusion and relief. Slowly, almost hesitantly, it pushes itself upright. Each shaky breath it takes seems to say, "Can I trust him?" Congo doesn't touch the little creature. He simply sits, his powerful chest rising and falling in measured calm, his gaze scanning the horizon for any sign of renewed danger. Elias and Lena decide to stay back. But now, the best way to honor this moment is to give space and witness without interfering. Hours pass in silent observation. The impala, emboldened by Congo's presence, nuzzles the ground for a sip of water, then lifts its head, sensing safety. Congo's vigilance never wavers. When the rangers finally whisper to each other about leaving, it's only because their cameras are out of memory and their hearts are out of words. But the story isn't over. As late afternoon light slants across the savannah, distant calls ripple through the air, the reunion song of the impala herd. One by one, shapes materialize from the tall grass, moving toward the clearing, where Congo and the baby stand. The herd's approach is cautious at first, hesitant faces peering through blades of grass until mother and child lock eyes. Then, with a rush of movement and a chorus of bleats, merge into each other's embrace. The tiny impala, trembling only moments ago, finds strength in the familiar warmth of the herd, and Congo, his duty fulfilled, turns and slips away into the forest, as silently as he arrived. In the aftermath, Elias and Lena share reflections that shake the foundations of their understanding. It makes you wonder, Elias says, if compassion isn't as rare in the wild as we thought. Lena nods, tears glinting in her eyes. It may be the strongest creatures aren't those who fight the hardest, but those who care the most. Their words drift off as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the clouds in shades of fire. This extraordinary event, a gorilla saving a baby antelope from lions, reminds us that empathy stretches beyond human boundaries. It whispers that intelligence and emotion bloom in unexpected corners of the animal kingdom, challenging us to reconsider our role as guardians of this planet. If a silverback can cross species lines to protect a vulnerable life, what responsibility do we bear as stewards of these wild places? Feel that beat in your chest? That's the call of the wild echoing in your soul. Let it stir you to action. Share this story of hope and connection. Subscribe for more journeys that reveal nature's hidden lessons. And tell us, what other incredible animal stories do you yearn to hear? Let your voice join the chorus, and together we'll watch compassion unfold, one astonishing moment at a time.